everyone, Tracy here. I got a request earlier from a MsButterful on if I could show her how to make some quick, easy, and inexpensive invitations for her graduation. Now, I'm not sure of the tools you have or the resources you have or even your style because you don't have any videos up. So I made this, and it's very, very simple, and you can elaborate on this and put your own spin on it depending on what tools you have. But I made it as simple as I can, and I used the standard card base. So you cut this, you get 2 cards out of 11.5 by by 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You get 2 cards out of them. So this is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and then you score it at 4.25, and this is your card base. And this is mostly what I use for my cards. This is the size I usually do. And this background here is plain, and it was a little too plain for, I know you wanted clean and simple, but I had to add a little touch to it. So what I did was I embossed, you can't really tell, but I heat embossed some script on here, and then you just lay that on top. Where is my gun? So you just layer that on, and I emailed her and I found out that her colors are red and white. So if you give me your address, I will even mail you these 2 here because I won't have a use for them. So if you want them, just send me an email and I will ship these off to you. And then for the hat, maybe I should put this over here so you can see a little bit. And for the graduation cap, what I did was I cut this piece at 3.25 by 3.25, and then I found the center, and then I'm just going to punch a hole for the grad. Oh, and the red, I'm sorry, the red piece is 4 by 5.25. So we just want to punch the center. And I didn't have any black brads, so this was a blue one, and what I did was I just colored it with my Sharpie. And then you put this in, but you don't want it too tight because you have to put your tassel in there. So to make the tassel, what I'm using is my crochet cotton. You can use embroidery floss, you can use anything you want, string. And I wrap it around my hand about 10 times. Open up my fingers because you want it that long. And then I cut it. Maybe I'll do a couple more. And then you take another piece and you just wrap it around this top loop. You see how I do that? And then you wrap it a few times. Want it nice and tight. I'm not liking how those loops aren't even. There. Then you tie a couple knots in it. And because I'm on camera, my fingers aren't working properly, of course. And then at the bottom, you just cut all the tassels off, the loops. And then you can cut, missed one. And then you take another piece of your crochet cotton twine, whatever you're using, and you run it through your top loop. I want to make sure they're all in there. You run that through there, and you can use long pieces, like this is really long, but you want to wrap it around your brad. So, and I put a double knot in it up at the top, and then you just wrap it around your brad, whatever length you think is good. This is why you don't want your brad too tight, because you want to be able to wrap it a couple times. In this first one here, I put an eyelet in the brad, but I don't think I really needed it. I think it was too loose then. Not that it matters, but that's less material you'll have to use if you don't use it. And then you tie a knot and you hide your knot again underneath the brad. And then cut as close as you can so you don't see those little pieces. And then what I did was I just angled it whatever way works, and I added the foam adhesive. And this I get from the dollar store. I think you'd pay $1 or something for this whole roll of foam tape. And I like to use it on my cards because I don't know if it's acid free, and it doesn't really matter because nobody's going to save these cards forever anyway. So and then you just put it whatever angle you like. And I want to make sure I can see the red all the way around it. And then I stamped this invited. You can, whatever stamp sets you have, you'll of course use those. And then I inked around the edges. We'll use another piece of the foam tape for that to pop it up a bit. And this I just measured it out, so it depends on the size of your sentiment on how big this is going to be for yours, because if you don't have this exact same punch, it's going to be a different size. And I just inked around the edges with red. You know, you'd think I wouldn't lose this thing, it's so huge, but I keep losing it. I keep putting it on my table and forget where I put it. And then I kind of shoved that underneath. Mind you, you could put it on the hat too, I guess. And then the inside here, I used a recipe card. That's what I usually use for the insides of my cards. They're inexpensive, and you just ink the edges. And I also put ink all around it so it's not stark white. And I wish I had one beside me I could show you, but I don't. They're put away. And then I just back that with another piece of paper. So like I said, this is very easy, and they fit in your standard invitation envelopes. So I hope this helps you, and I hope you can make some. There, like I said, you can play around with your embellishments that you have, but this is as simple as I could come up with. And just leave me, if you want these, just leave me your address in my email or in a personal message, and I'll mail these off to you. Thanks for watching. Bye now.